Well, welcome to podcast episode number 18.
You did 18?
18.
What? And you just start this like a week ago?
Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, we're on 18. I've edited 4 so far.
4?
Yeah, it took me like 8 hours to do 4. Tell me about yourself, or tell the people that may not know who you are that should know who you are.
Well, my name is Danny, for one. I'm 31. I don't know why everybody starts off with their age. It's like not that important.
To date, because I want to do this again in maybe 5 to 10 years.
So then I'll be like, I'm 41. All right. So yeah, I'm 31 right now. I like to play music. I grew up as a musician. I grew up here in Granite City, Illinois, right across the river from St. Louis, which is cool. But yeah, I'm like still a musician, I would say, but I'm like not as good as I wanted to be. Like when I was a little kid, I thought I was going to be like, you know, this is like the only thing I ever do. And that's not the case. But yeah, music is awesome. So I grew up doing that. I started doing video like, I don't know. Like, I think I got my first camera in like 2016.
Yeah.
I want to say. Because I had just gotten back from a tour with the band, and then I moved in with my best friend, and he like convinced me to buy a camera because there was a good deal on a Panasonic G7.
Yeah.
And then so ever since then, I've been like messing around with taking photos and doing videos. And yeah, now I like do that for the main thing, which is pretty cool. I like do like wedding videography, obviously, with you. And then I do like some music videos. I do some visualizers like here and there. I'm like trying to get better at all that stuff, but yeah, and I do photos too. Like some concert photography, yeah, a little bit of everything. But I play guitar in my band. My band's called Pale Coyote.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's Pale Coyote, which if you want to call it that, if you've heard of us, that's fine. We don't care. That's actually what it was at first.
Yeah.
And then we changed it. Yeah. So my cat's just back there. I didn't know that he was.
Are you okay, Key?
Are you stuck? I think he's fine. Yeah. There he goes. Don't knock the light over. But so yeah, I play guitar in my band. I'm in luckily I'm in a band with like a bunch of my best friends. So my boy John Alsop, he like writes most of the stuff. Super good dude. You're gonna get to work with him one day. And then Jake and Chandler. Jake plays drums, Chandler plays bass. They're all just like super talented people. And yeah, that's like that's really it. I'm pretty boring. Like I'd work, like I do video stuff, and then I play music, and that's like, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to me right now. Like that's like all I've been focusing on really. So
that's what I would just edited Kaylee Roberts' video today, and we were talking about how when we were younger, not so much like band stuff like you, but whenever I was younger, I was like, I'm gonna be able to tour, and that will sustain my lifestyle, like taking photos on tour. And it's like, but you don't get really paid that much. It's real hard to make money from music.
Yeah, you kind of gotta have like an in or something. Yeah. Like, I mean, it can happen. Like, who knows? Like, maybe I'll like start doing that, and then maybe like somebody will hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we need you," and then I'm like, "Well, I can't." Like, and then I'll send them your way. But yeah, it's like from like I actually just. We were just talking about this a little bit. I was supposed to go out with Bad Wolves, and that got canceled. And that's another thing that sucks about that is like, I don't know, like something like COVID could happen, or like the band you're supposed to go out with might get sick, and then it's like, so I feel like what you do with like the weddings is like probably more sustainable and like guaranteed, and it's fulfilling too. Like weddings are really fun. And hey, Bones. So Bones was recently sick. I know you know that. But for the podcast, he's doing better now, obviously. Look at him. He's just like, chill out, buddy. He like hears all the noise out there.
Well, hello. Okay. Back to we're like shadow puppets.
He's so goofy. He does this thing where he'll chill in the window and there's like these birds that hang out in our backyard and they like make these weird like turkey noises. Like they're not like normal bird noises. They're like, it's like a weird like high pitched like gobble, and Bones figured out how to make the noise.
So Bones is communicating with
Yeah.
fowl.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was, but I told somebody about it recently, and they said that their cat does the same thing. They're like, dude, really? Like, my cat does that too. Like, he, like, talks to the birds, and it's, like, a really weird noise.
I'm just now getting my cat to even like talk to us.
Really?
She's so quiet all the time, so I've been training her to like meow anytime, but she loves getting brushed. Oh my god. So I'll hold the brush up and she'll go like, yeah, that's good cat. Or we're gonna end up getting like harassed.
Yeah. I haven't tried, like, really brushing them, so... I mean, they're not really, like, fluffy cats, so I don't know if they need it, but maybe I'll try.
Black, but I don't know, we just randomly got one and then she just fell in love with it. She used to be this feral ass like street cat. It about froze over. We took care of her and now she's like prima donna.
I do know, like, cats do like to be groomed, like they, like, it's so weird, like, they're actually brothers. So we have another cat, Smokey. They're actually brothers, like, biological brothers. And they'll just, like, lay with each other and cuddle, and they'll just be, like, grooming each other and stuff. But, it's really weird because when Smokey just got sick recently, he was in the vet for, it was, like, 3.5 days, I think. It was, like, super expensive. Anyways, by the way, shout out to, I made a GoFundMe really quick. I made a GoFundMe for my cat, and I'm like talking to the camera for a second. So I'm like, if anybody sees this that donated. So I made a GoFundMe for my cat because Smokey, his urinary tract got blocked and we didn't catch it till like the very end. He got super, super sick. I had to take him to the emergency vet and he had a massive vet bill. It was like a little over $2,500 with everything. And I made a GoFundMe and like, I still haven't like took it down. It's still up, but in like the first like 3 days I raised like, I think it was like $1,100 or something, or it was like a little over 1,000. Like, yeah. So if anybody donated or like shared the status or anything, thank you guys a lot, because that's like a huge help. And like couldn't have came at the most worst time too. I was like literally just talking to my little brother. I was like, man, like I've been doing like a decent amount of projects, but I've like invested in some gear recently, and like my bank account was not looking so great. And then I was like just talking to my little brother about that, and then it was like a day or two later, like my cat was like literally on the verge of dying. And then so, but he's doing better now. Yeah, he's doing better now. So and so, well, still a little bit, but it's better than it was. Better than it was.
Still terrifying. Yeah, it never is convenient.
Yep. It was a bummer. And it's just scary because it's like, I don't have kids, but they're like my kids. Like, and Smokey was like my first animal that I've ever had. Like for me, like we've had like family pets growing up, but when I like moved into this house, I was like, okay, like I have my own place now. I can actually have like a cat or a dog if I want one. And Smokey, like, he's the OG boy. So
How old is Smokey now?
he's like, I think like 1.5 years or something like that. Yeah, so he's still like pretty young. I wonder if the audio is gonna pick up PD.
Oh no.
Back there just chirping.
Okay, if it does, it's a magic. But this new Adobe AI podcast,
Oh God,
magic. Okay,
the AI thing.
if it's good quality and I don't talk over you, that's my big practice. Because sidetrack. So I put it out in the universe. So like my resolution for 2023 is to not talk over people. And now Adobe AI and the way that the software works, it's like hold me to it. It's like you better not fucking talk over anyone, or else it like. So if it's good quality, it just cleans it up. And it's good as hell. If it's real shit quality, talking over each other, you can almost hear how the robots almost take the transcript
Yeah.
and then use a robotic voice that closest matches yours and replaces your voice.
So then you really get to hear.
Yeah, the robot, like the uncanny audio, uncanny valley.
That's creepy, kind of.
So it's So, but that was like when I was testing these out. It wasn't on anyone's official podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'll do my best not to talk over it. It's like, if there's going to be AI involved.
I'm the bad one.
I like saw this video recently. I think it was like yesterday, actually. Or maybe the day before. And I don't know if it was real or not. It was probably fake. I don't know. But it was like this guy talking to like an AI robot. And they were like having like a slap competition thing. So he would like say something to the robot or something, or he would like slap the robot like in the face, like kind of like gently, like he was like abusing the robot. I mean, it's made of metal, so like he probably could hit it hard, but and then he would like back up, and then so it'd be the robot's turn to slap him, but he had like a mannequin head, so he would hold it up, and then the robot would like slap the mannequin head, and so that happened like 2 times. And then on the 3rd time that it was the robot's turn to hit the guy, like to hit the mannequin, he like pushed the mannequin off to the side and like went to slap the dude in the face, and like the video cut out. And I was like, dude, if that's like real, like for one, that's kind of what you get for like, that's like a stupid thing to play with. Like you shouldn't like teach an AI robot how to slap like anything. But I was just like, that's kind of funny, but it's also kind of scary. It's like,
I feel like we should share our story because it's a pretty magical story of how we came to be. It's really magical because
like how we met, me and you, dude. All right, do you want to start off?
my perspective is I was working the McCain's weddings. I'm pretty sure I've heard of you before then, but I had no clue of face, like eyes, no fucking clue who you were.
They're like Drake mentioned me or something. Like, yeah.
Of course, yeah, I've definitely heard you from the grapevine and everything, but I was like annihilated at the point that we met. Like it was at the end of the day.
I couldn't really tell. Like,
and Riley was like, "I'm not gonna drink," and I was like, "I'm gonna get fucking hammered." Looking like vodka and like soda, like one after another. Like, I'd go sit down, and then as soon as I'd sit down, I'd go get another.
Well, you were like at your like best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
So
it was. I don't do that at every wedding.
Yeah.
Because secretly, I'm really good at being drunk. You know,
Drake and Jess would have wanted that for sure.
They definitely did.
Yeah.
I had my DD, so we were all good. But I was like annihilated at the bar, and then this guy comes up. He's like, "You do video?" Or no, did you say you had a drone or what?
I had my drone there.
Yeah, you had your drone there.
Yeah.
That's what the conversation starter was.
Is that what it was?
I think so. Were you already talking with Alex before we talked, or? Because I remember, I think Alex was there.
Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like sitting at our table for like a long time.
I was just so busy I didn't even ever sit down except to like, shove food in my face. But yeah, we didn't ever talk until it was like almost the end of the night. And then I don't remember most of the conversation.
I don't either. I'll be honest with you. I just remember it was like I found out, or you mentioned that were you doing photo or video?
I was doing both.
You were doing both?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you were doing that, and I was like, oh, like I've thought about doing wedding videography before, and then you were like, I think I've like heard about you or something, and then we were just like, well, hell yeah, like it was nice to meet you, like, and then we were just like, we like talked for a second, but it was like kind of like, hey, we share like the same interests, and we both know Drake, and that was like enough. Where we were just like, well, then maybe we should just work together or something, yeah. And then it was like fast forward, not too much longer later, I was like quitting the job, and I really wanted to start weddings, and I was like, maybe I should just hit makeup.
Yep, that's it. And you had the best first wedding day ever. It was so fucking slow. Like I could.
Oh, they were super cool too.
I probably would have took a nap. It was that slow of a day. So it worked out perfect.
I felt really weird because I was like, man, like weddings are serious. There's going to be a lot going on. And then we get there and you were just like, oh, we're just chilling for like a while.
Oh, it was a long time.
Yeah, and you were like, because I remember you were giving me a monopod, and I was like, dude, I've never used one of these. I don't know what to do. And I had my gimbal, and then I think I ended up putting my gimbal on the monopod because you were telling me, you were like, I don't know if you want to hold that for the whole ceremony. That's going to be heavy or something. I was like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then so I put it on there. Yeah, and I was like, damn. I learned a lot that day. It was like, wasn't the bride's name like Brittany?
I just knew it was at Lock Haven. I could not tell you. I could probably like look it up and know.
I think it's Brittany. think it was like Brittany and Brian or something. I'll look in my folder later. I think I still have the footage.
It's so weird because like the last couple years, it's either been like people I know very, very, very well, and some complete, no offense, complete randoms that I'm friends with, I have a good day with, but I'm not that close with.
Yeah.
So unless you're like those best friends, everyone else is just kind of
Yeah. Well, you would probably remember more names if you didn't do so many.
Yeah.
But that's my problem is like, once you do like, I don't know, even if you've only done one every weekend, at the end of the month, you're like, I don't know I don't know their names from the first week.
But yeah, like I'll start wedding days with like photographers that I like. We'll sit there, we'll go, what was the name of the last couple we just worked with? And we can't.
Yeah.
Or I'll sit there with like makeup artists and they're like, what weddings do you have coming up? I don't know. We'll just see each other when we see each other. So what's your like perspective of like the first wedding you did to like how you approach them now? Because you've done a lot since that time.
Done a ton. So the first one, I hadn't really been to that many weddings even as like an attendee. So like, I didn't really know what to expect. Like, I knew like traditionally like what a ceremony, like everybody that I had seen like get married at this point was like, other than Drake's wedding, that was different. And I was only there for the reception, but it was like kind of like I don't know, I don't necessarily want to say like a Catholic ceremony, but it was like just at a church, everybody, like this guy talks for a long time and then they kiss at the end, and then you go somewhere after and everybody dances, and that's it. That's a wedding. Yeah, that's like what a wedding was to me.
And now you have to like overanalyze every moment of the day to make sure you don't miss a single fucking second.
There's like all these other things that I didn't really think about, like the dress up, first look, cake cutting, speeches, all this stuff, that's not really something that I thought about like when I was going into it. When I like first like really started getting into it, I was like, okay, so like the schedule is like the most important thing, like because every wedding's going to be different. So if I stay with the schedule, that's like the most important thing. And lately my approach, like this year going to like 2023, has been like my main focus is like the couple and like the family and the friends. Like, so now like the schedules, now that I kind of know what the different weddings are like, yeah, like that stuff is starting to come natural. So now my focus has been more like I'm trying to be there like emotionally. So like now, like, because I used to just stress out about like, what's happening next, what's happening after what's happening right now. That was like my process, and I'm getting good footage the whole time, but now I'm actually able to like, I don't know, like when I'm hearing, if they're like reading a letter, like in the morning, I'm listening to the things that they're saying, because I might be able to incorporate like the things that they're saying into like what I film. So like if the groom mentions something in his, in the letter to the bride about how she has like beautiful eyes or something, now I'm like, okay, so at some point today, I have to get a close up on like the bride's eyes, because in the editing process, when he's talking about, her beautiful eyes, then you can like cut to a clip where like it's focused on her eyes or something. Yeah. So now, and then also like if they're talking about like family members or anything like that, like I try to figure out like what's important to them and like really just like build good rapport with them. And then I also like my like a big focus for me is to like let them know that I'm there to like help. Like, yeah, I'm there to film, but also it's like I could be other things too. Like, do you need me to carry your flowers? Like, do you need me to go run and like tell your brother to like stop screwing around and like smoking weed and like come take more photos? Because I've had to do that before. Like, yeah, it's like I can be more than just a videographer. Like, I'm there to help. So, and at first, like when I first started doing weddings, I was just like a nervous like person. I'm just like, yeah, I had to learn. And so now it's like, I don't know, it's nice. Like it's more secondhand. It's much easier, like not just to film. Like not only is my footage better, but I come home feeling like more fulfilled and like feeling like I did a better job, not just with like videotaping, but also just like being like a good worker and I don't know, like just a helping hand to the bride and the groom. So
Yeah, you gotta make sure that you like, especially like when we're doing something that's like art related, and this is our crafts. Like, if we keep on doing stuff for money, and we don't get like that fulfillment out of it, then it's like makes it almost resentful.
yeah, you like you almost don't feel genuine. You're like, damn, I'm just like grabbing money. Like I'm not into this. Like
And there's some people that like have been in it, like my mentor Michael Gibbons, like he started me into it, and like now he wouldn't touch a wedding with his football. But and then I have other people that are like, okay, I'm 12 years into it now, and I've officially surpassed how long he did it for, and he's like, do you hate it yet? And I'm like, honestly, no, just because like I found what I don't enjoy, and I make sure that I set up my packages that those clienteles don't really book me, or I can like sniff out stuff, or like make sure it just kind of like padded to like what fits best for me, or other people to send it to that if they're not the right client.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Yeah, it's like if you can like curate like your your clientele a little bit, and like because that's another thing is like I'm like at the point right now where with like music videos and stuff, it's like I almost take everything, and like it's cool because there's like a side of it that's cool because I'm getting more work and I'm getting more money. There's more like things that I could put in my portfolio, but then it's also not cool because like I've been pretty lucky so far, but there has been times where I'm like doing something where I'm like I'm not as into this as like as I want to be. Like maybe the song doesn't hit me enough or something, and it like makes me feel bad at the end when it's like, even if I like did it as good of a job as I can, it's like if it's not like the right thing for you creative wise, I don't know how to say that. Creatively, is that creatively? Creative wise, whatever. But yeah, if it's not your thing, it's like, you probably don't want to do it. And then, yeah, I've had those weddings where it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, man, that, like, I did my best, but that, like, sucked. Like, something doesn't feel right. So, like.
Good thing about weddings, though, is, like, I feel like out of all the different types of clientele, wedding people are, like, the easiest. Now there may be, like, a few here and there, like, once a year that, like.
It's bad apples.
A couple different edits, but, like, majority of their time, they're, like, first time they watch the video, no re-edits. This is the best thing I've ever had in my whole entire life. Wow. But then whenever you're working with like musicians, like my perspective of working with musicians, it's their art too, and it's very much reflecting of their other type of art. It's like a symbiotic thing, not just like showing off a pretty day. So like they're very much so like into it, and they can be upset.
Yeah. It's a whole other realm.
Yeah.
Because there's the imagination factor too. It's like with the band, they can be writing music about like anything from, like real everyday things like being sad or mad, or like if you're in a hardcore band or whatever, or it could be like mythical, like they could be talking about like Greek mythology or whatever. So yeah, it's like with bands, there's this, like the imagery is like this, there's all these other things where it's like infinite possibilities. And then with like a wedding, it's like you're just like capturing what actually happens. Yeah, it's like you're capturing literally what happens. So yeah, and that's actually like one of the things that I do, like I'm super grateful for weddings, is not only is it lucrative, but it's like it's way, to me, it's like, I don't want to say it's like easier and I enjoy it because it's easier. Yeah, it is much easier, like, since like if you know what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the whole, like, because like I've done visuals for bands and stuff too, and like, I don't know, it's like, to me, that stuff's really fun, but sometimes it's a struggle.
Yeah.
It's like, because you have to like almost create something out of like nothing, like, and then your interpretation of it, like, then that's like, you feel you're more like vulnerable because it's like you created this like from nothing, so it's yours. And then as to a wedding, it's like if something looks like a little off, it's like it's probably, yeah, it's like the lighting was coming through this window weird. I can't help that, like, so Yeah.
So what's your favorite like music project that you've got to work on filming wise, not participating?
So yeah, I would probably say the last video that I did for Summoning the Lich, the Forest Feast. We they had like hit me up like months before, and they're like, "Hey, we need a video like really bad, like soon, because like we have like a song, like a new song, and the label wants us to make a video." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And then it was like months later where TJ hits me up and he's like, "Dude, we need a video in like 2 weeks. Like, is it possible?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it." So we like rented out a room at Utopia and like just want to not like, so at Utopia Studios, there's a big warehouse with like a big open floor. That's where we did the Cult of the Ophidian video. And I was like, I did not know much about video then, but I still love that video. Like, it's just, it could have been better quality and like
Office chairs to get gimbal shots. That
yeah. So me and Sam Beck filmed that, and I had this chair. Pretty sure it was this chair. If it wasn't this chair, it was a different one. But so I bought like these rollerblade wheels from Amazon. I'm sorry, ADD. Jesus Christ. But so there's these wheels that you can get on Amazon. They're like rollerblade wheels for your computer chair. They're like $20. Get them. Do you have them?
no, but
Get them. Dude, like, literally look at this. There's no sound, and it's so smooth. It's to the point where if my cat jumps on my chair, the chair will glide to, like, the other side of the room. But anyway, so that's how we, like, got some of the big gimbal shots in the Cult video, is Sam was, like, behind my chair just, like, running as fast as he could, pushing me, and I just have the gimbal, and I'm just, like steering it. It was really fun. But the Forest Feast video, we did in, like, a smaller studio room. And I just filmed it by myself, and it was like all handheld too. So that's like one of my favorite parts about it was, it was all handheld, which I had never done for a music video before. There was always like some type of like gimbal shots involved with anything else I've ever done. Actually, you know what? I lied. There is a couple gimbal shots. I think I did a gimbal shot of TJ, but other than that, it was like all handheld. And then there was, I think it was like the week before we did that, me and TJ went out to Chain Rocks Bridge, and I got some drone shots on the coldest day like of the year. It was so cold, and it was super windy. I'm like glad that my drone didn't like fail, but it was so cold to the point where if you like when I got out of TJ's car, he just like waited in the car because it was so cold. But I would like get out and like literally instantly my fingers like burn. Like it was terrible. And I'm just like shaking. But I like get the drone up in the air, and then I just get back in the car. I'm like, I'm just doing it from the car because I can't be out there. Yeah, like it is what it is. But there was like all these like ice sheets in like the Mississippi River, and it looked like some Nat Geo, because usually at the Chain of Rocks Bridge, it's like just the water's like flowing and it's like kind of smooth. Well, this time it was weird because there was a bunch of ice sheets like piled up where those rocks are. So the water's just like rushing over these ice sheets, and it's like getting like way more air than it normally does, and it looks like way intense. And I was like flying my drone over this one ice sheet, and it like breaks apart like as I'm doing it. Like it looked like some yeah, like it's like nothing special really at all, like, you know, compared to what's out there. But to me it was cool because I was just like flying my drone, and I was like, dude, the wind could take it at any second. And and I just see like this ice sheet right before. I'm like, dude, this is so cool. Like this is like some nature happening like right below my drone. But yeah, so that was like the first time I seen the Mississippi look like that, because usually it just looks like all shitty and grimy. But this time it looked like, I don't know, it looked better. It was cool. So
send it to
yeah. Mississippi River. Dude, I should. That would be super sick.
There's another local drone person that's just now starting to do social media around Alton, and they flew their drone like inches above the Mississippi. Coolest shot ever, because you can almost see like the differential and like the peaks of the waves, because it's so low. Because normally you're shooting like that. No, they're like at least a foot off the water.
Wow.
Zoom in. And I'm like,
were they like shooting off into the distance or like just at the water? Yeah, let me see it.
Since it's a Jordan, I was like, I do not have those kind of falls like at all. I got disconnection that you're still better recording. Yeah. Don't give up on me.
He finally settled
I
down.
know, he's summoned. It's like the next shot, I think. But like the birds and shit.
That was what? That's cool.
For my like
I would.
glass day too.
That was really cool.
They're just ballsy. They don't have like any rules, I guess. So I think that's a way cooler way to make content. They're not limiting themselves.
That was awesome.
But yeah, as soon as I saw that second shot, I was like, what the fuck? Ballsy.
This looks scary. It looks like they're just gonna drive into the water.
Jordan, the Saturday where he just, let me start over. The Saturday that we just filmed, he was thrown before I got there, and he see someone take down like one of those like multi-$1,000 drones, like the big boy drones, like with the arm.
Yeah, like the helicopter looking thing.
Right into a power.
No.
Like, way to start the day, bud. It's like, you better fucking watch your shit. We can't take.
Oh my god, that sucks so bad. Those things are an investment. I would like to I feel like I would be comfortable manning the camera on one of those, because like usually with those big drones, that's how it works. Is like somebody flies the thing, yeah, then somebody operates the camera.
You almost need like a third person just to spot too. That's a lot that goes into droning. I used to think, why is it so expensive? And I'm like, makes 100% sense.
Yeah,
I don't work.
See, if I would have had something like that when I was doing the Something English video, that would have been even better, because I could have done like those eye sheets while I was going over it. I could have did like a 360 spin and went backwards, but that would have been sweet. By the way, if you're from the area and you haven't listened to Something English and you like metal, you're missing out. Yeah. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons or any kind of fantasy, based lore, David Bruno writes super, super sick lyrics. Everything's actually super smart.
Yeah.
That's the best part about them is, not only is the music sick, but the lore. They're literally storytelling.
Whole package. It's not just some random band putting out a song.
Yeah, bands, there's no other band that I know of, at least from around this area, that is literally telling you a full blown story.
Yeah.
And they have the magic card things.
Yeah.
Where I'm actually really proud of one of them, because we went out to eat at Blueberry Hill, and I took a nice candid photo of them just eating lunch, and that's on one of their epic Magic the Gathering type cards, and they showed me that, and I was like, that's really funny actually.
I definitely, this could sound ignorant just because I'm not exposed to every single genre of music in our little St. Louis metro scene, but I would say that they're one of the top tier.
Oh, absolutely.
In the whole entire area, or maybe some country star.
I would say, yeah, I think that those guys, especially in metal,
yeah,
they, and I'm not just saying this because they're my buddies.
They're besties. You started in the band whenever it first started, right?
Not when they first started. So they had Cameron, who's actually one of my really good friends. I used to play in a band with Cameron called The Engineered. Super awesome dude. He plays bass, but he was in Something English at first, and then I joined. I took his spot, and I think I was in the band for maybe 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. That was some of the best times I've had playing music, honestly. Just the music was really fast and aggressive, and when we would play shows, people would show up. I mean, more people are showing up now, but even back then, because we were still kind of a, it was a newer group, people would show up, and everybody was not everybody, but a lot of people knew the lyrics to the song. And I had never played in a band when I filled in for Tear Out the Heart, I was playing drums, and a lot of people knew those words, but I was in the back playing drums, so I couldn't focus on it. But when I was playing bass for Something English, I'd just be up in the front playing bass, and the whole front row, they would be screaming along, and I'm like, what? This is weird. This is cool.
Did you only do one show with Tear Out the Heart?
No, I did 2 tours with them. Yeah.
That's sick. I only did like a couple videos for them way back in the day. That was like one of the first and we talked about this last night. We brought up Franzilla. Do you remember how I used to have the entrepreneur class or whatever? I signed up for that, and one of the things he talked me into doing was like the same day edit like highlight reels from shows. So Tear at the Heart was like one of the first big ones.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet. I didn't know that you did anything for them.
First, but that was the first kind of one that got recognition and got more bands. They used to be on top.
Yeah, Tear at the Heart, they, like, at one point in time, they were probably, like, the bigger, like, metal band in the year. I mean, they were on, like, Victory Records and stuff.
Up to them.
Yeah.
They live their best life. Or Tyler's living his best life out in Vegas.
Yeah, he just had a baby recently. Yeah, him and Lo. What's up, Tyler, if you see this? Yeah.
I don't care about Tyler, cool, but I hope Lauren watches it. She's so cool. What other questions? Oh, what suggestions or what tips do you have for little Danny that was dreaming big of like wanting to do shit, like not all in music, and then also like going into like your creative field too? Like, what tips would make it easier that you learned along the way?
I don't know. I feel like I'm still looking for those tips right now. Like,
striving to get better.
I would say, like, for music, if it was like really young Danny for music, I would say I probably would have picked up drums sooner. Because, like, growing up, I, like, only played guitar. But I had a burning passion for drums. I just never had a drum set.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. Yeah, and it was really expensive. And my mom probably didn't want to hear me play drums, but, like, I feel like back then, if I would have had, like, drums earlier on, that probably would have helped me, like, with, like, writing music and, like, constructing music. So that would have been nice. Is like, pretty much, I guess my advice is if you feel like you want to do something, like, start doing it. Yeah. Like, try. Anything and everything. Yeah. Like, don't ever tell yourself, oh, well, I already do this, so I don't want to, like, put this on my plate too. Like, while you're young, which anybody who's watching this probably isn't young, but I still feel young. Yeah, if you're young at heart, like, if you feel like you want to do something, just do it. Don't feel like you're already doing too much. Like, if you're doing karate, you're like, oh, I can't, like, start photography. Like, too busy with karate. Find time to do it. Like, find time to try it. Yeah. Yeah, like, because you might enjoy that other thing better. Like, you might, if you bottleneck yourself and you're like, oh, well, I'm already doing this, so I can't do that, then it's like you're missing out. Dude, my stomach is really going right now. Next time it goes, I'm going to put notes. In
the middle of Alex reads, he's like anytime there was like any lull, he's like, oh, like, so scared to edit it. It's just gonna be like,
I want to do a podcast with him. He was really funny at the wedding. Yeah.
I want to have like a drummer podcast. Just get all the fucking drummers in one room.
I know some drummers. Yeah. They're hard to come by, but I know some.
I like how both of my second shooters are drummers.
Mm-hmm.
What fucking luck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my advice, is play drums. Yeah. Like, just,
start filming.
Yeah.
No.
But no, I would say, like, yeah, another thing I would say is, like, I should have stuck with recording more. Because, like, I got into recording for a while. Like, I have, like, a little bit of a setup, but it's not much. But I, like, recorded way back in the day, like, and I was never really good at it. But I feel like I should have stuck with it because it really helps with the music writing process.
Does recording correlate with, like, the drum covers that you did that ended up getting you discovered to get on that tour?
So I actually never even really covered anything. They saw a video of me just, like, blast beating on an electronic drum set. Yeah. I was literally just, like, trying to get really fast because I was just, like, into, like, more, like, progressive metal music. Mm-hmm. And when you're like that, like, to me, the hardest thing is to be fast and, like, loud. Yeah, and consistent. So I was like, my endurance was really bad. So, like, for a while, I just focused literally on just, like just being fast with my hands and I was never really fast with my feet, but my hands got pretty fast. So my blast beats, like, got pretty good. Yeah. And around the area back in the day, if you could do blast beats, like, you were hard to come. My friends are really good at recording, like John Alsop. Dude, that dude's like an audio guru. Yeah, he's insane. And then my other friend Sam Beck, he's really good at recording too. And like seeing them like learn how to produce, like it really helped with like their music writing capabilities. And I was always kind of not focused with that. I was just like, well, I'm gonna play drums and I'm gonna be in these bands. I was just like kind of hopping around in bands and like, because I really like to play shows. That was my thing. Was like I like to play and like be on stage. And they were more so into like the studio side of things. And I feel like in the long run, that's like, to me, that's like a smarter move, because if you're like a good composer, that's like, not only is that more fulfilling, because you could do that on your own. You know, when you're in a band and you're like playing, like if you want to play a show, you have to rely on all these other people. It's like, so if your bass player's not showing up, or if somebody gets sick or blah, 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 whatever, you might not be able to do that. But if you like really like, just like, if you're into writing music and you know how to do it in your bedroom by yourself, then it's like you could always have a good time with that.
That's what I just learned about Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like whenever you listen to their music, it sounds like a full chorus of people. And whenever you see them in person, there's multiple people singing. There's only 2 people.
Really?
And
they do all their...
yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's like, if you know how to do it, you can almost produce like the whole sound, and then they teach people how to perform it later.
Yeah.
But where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, not realistically, but like if nothing limited you.
If nothing limited me.
Yeah, not money, not time. Where would you like to see yourself?
In 10 years, in a perfect world, I would just be touring with Pale Cowrie. Like, that's like the best case scenario. Because, I mean, I grew up playing music, and like I love like video, and I'll never stop doing that. But right now, that's like what I spend most of my time doing. If I could shift that to music, like music is still like, I'm super passionate. Like being on stage is like, to me, the best feeling in the world. So if I could just if we could tour, like, dude, I would honestly do it like all year. But realistically, I would probably burn out then. If I could like tour to like 7 to 9 months out of the year with like my best friends, just making a little bit of money, even if we're like not making great money, but if like I could just hold down bills, and like take care of myself, like that would be
just whoever you're touring with, be their tour videographer, except for like when you're on stage playing. So
I can, and that way I can like fulfill both of those things. Say that question over down.
Like any thoughts you have?
Final
thoughts for what you want to encapsulate your thoughts into this podcast here?
Man, that's a tough one. We can get super deep on that. I would say, I don't know, like just like if you're trying to be, I feel like probably most people watching this are like a creative in some type of way. Just like keep creating, like whatever it is, if it's video or photo or whatever. Like, kind of like what I was saying earlier, like if you feel like you want to try something, you should try that. I need to be better about that, actually. It's like just going and like doing things. Like I have like a bucket list of like shots that I want to get. Yeah, I need to like start doing it. But yeah, like just keep creating and have a good time doing it. If you're ever feeling like discouraged, like just like don't not do something because you're discouraged. I still get like, do you get discouraged sometimes? Yeah.
Oh my God, like no hate on this current wedding, but like I'm gonna push it off a little bit just because I'm like, man, I just don't have the energy for it.
Well, you work like super hard though.
Yeah, it's all priorities. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you work like insanely hard. Like out of all the people that I worked with, like you do a lot.
But no, you make it possible though. That's what I was about to go on. What you were saying earlier is that how I'm able to do what I do is because I figure out what I suck at or what I don't enjoy doing and what I'm weak at, and then I'm able to find people that are dope as fuck and easy to sell. I'm like on the phone with people, and they're like, well, I want you. And I'm like, well, I would like you too, but Danny's way better than me, and he's got way better cameras, so it's worth your money to just trust me, you know?
Yeah. Like I'm steering you in the right direction.
Because like that's a problem that we were talking about. So many people are scared to do like the big teams because there's other big teams that kind of like don't pick the best people all the time. And and I'm like super hardcore of like, yo, my team is gonna be better than me no matter what. Like, and I could say that.
Well, you're probably more like, because I think you're really good at what you do, but I think that one thing that you do way better than me, like, because you might think like, I don't know what you think I'm better at exactly. It's probably just my camera quality.
You're a lot nicer. You're a lot calmer. You're feeling pretty. I like.
I think you're nicer and calmer than me. Really? You're right. You're so nice every day, like working with the wedding, but you're good at like the business and like you're good at like setting up and I feel like you're really good at like talking to people. Like anytime I go up to like a couple, like you introduce me like really well and you're like always cracking jokes with like the bride and the groom and I feel like you like have like a good grasp on like who like the family members on there and like and stuff like that.
Off on this last weekend, like I grew up with those people, so it was like,
Yeah.
wow, like you fake it till you make it. They're like, you're my best friend for the day. Here's who's gonna help me. Like,
That's good advice, Zach.
I feel like at a certain point too, like imposter syndrome will hold you back, so you almost gotta like gaslight yourself that you don't have it. It's
Yeah.
like I'm great.
You'll never truly be ready to do what you want to do.
Yeah, you can never wait
You won't.
until that's like this whole entire podcast. Now I'm going back through and editing the first couple ones after now filming. What is this, 18 now? I sucked ass at the beginning. I hate it. I hate watching it and reliving through it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I know once I get to like this edit, I'll be a lot different person than I was whenever I first started.
Did you drop it again?
Yeah. Yeah, I dropped my water. And yours just need to end. So, but no, I appreciate you, dude. You fucking kill it. Like, I'm glad that the McCains, the fucking beautiful, and that'll be a whole other story. I'll catch in a couple episodes. But like the way that they came about my life is almost the same way that you came about my life.
Mhm.
So I'm like, this is like a good group of people. I trust anyone that comes from this watering well. Like, so it's been you've been solid, dude. So,
Thank you. Appreciate it. You've been solid.
yes.
It's like cool that we just went from like a drunken conversation at a wedding, to now like, we work together and then there's been days where we just like have hung out and like got some food and like talked and
Like those chill days where I always almost set it up for a business meeting and no fucking business.
we just chill. Yeah, we just chill.
Or Jordan brings his kid and I'm like,
Yeah. Or Zane is there and I know, I felt bad that when we got food with John because me and Zane were just going on and on and on. And then you were like, all right, so
I got it done in like 5 minutes.
yeah.
I told Zane about what you said on Saturday and he's like, Danny likes me. I'm like, I think you guys could be good homies.
Dude, I love him, dude. Like, I'll hang out with him anytime. It's like, yeah, cause I think I was telling you this. It's like, cause I'm not very extroverted, but I'm not introverted either. I'm like probably in the middle somewhere. But I go through phases where sometimes I'm like more of either or.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm like right in the middle. So I really get along with people where we can like goof off and like have good conversations. But then there's like silence, but the silence like isn't awkward.
Yeah.
So that's like, I work with a guy at Slackers. His name's Tristan. I'm going to have to show him this if this ends up in the thing. But I get along with him so well because we'll just be like talking about movies, like, or whatever, just really have like a great conversation for like 45 minutes. And then it'll just be like complete silence for like 15 minutes, maybe even more. But the silence isn't awkward. It's great. It's like, we're both just like kind of recouping and like,
Yeah, good little battery.
yeah. And you can kind of just take in like the conversation. So I like to hang out with people where it's like, you don't have to feel like you're constantly talking.
Yeah.
Or you feel weird if you're like, bringing up a new conversation.
Low maintenance friendship.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoking too much weed. One of the two. Smoking too loud. No.
Does Zane smoke weed?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah. I do a little bit, but
No.
not too much. Yeah.
Anytime anyone catches me, they're like, "Ooh, I thought you were straight edge," and I'm like, "What?"
Do you like smoke when you work? Like, are you that much of a stoner? Like, are you an efficient stoner? Yeah?
Just how I can be drunk,
You're lucky. Dude, I actually have a story
Yes.
quick that's really funny. This is like one of my best memories, like from when I was like paranoid high. Like back in the day, like I was with my friend Sam and Ryan and we were like just chiefing. Like we were smoking hard, like, up in Sam's room. He like had a 2-story house, and his room was on the 2nd story. And like his mom was not cool with it, like because we were like still in high school, and obviously like most parents don't want their kids smoking weed. She had like busted us before, so like it wasn't the first time or anything. So we just like didn't care really. We're just like, if we get busted, we get busted. It is what it is. We're still gonna smoke. Like we'll try to like get the smell out of here, but we weren't very cautious at all. But we just like smoked out the house, like. And then Sam's mom comes home. We hear her like coming up the stairs, and just like, oh shit. We're like hiding everything, but we're just like sitting in front of his computer. Yeah, we're just like sitting in front of his computer like this, like just pretend like nothing's happened. And then his mom comes in, and she's like, Sam, it smells like weed all in the house. And he's just like, he like just like turns around from his computer. He's like, he was like, I'm sitting right here. Like that was his excuse for not smoking. He was like, what are you talking about? I'm sitting right here. And then my other friend Ryan just starts like busting out laughing. And like Ryan's laugh is like super goofy. And I don't know if you're going to imitate it, but like he just starts laughing, and then I start laughing because I was just like,
Sam's in his own fight with his mom.
yeah, it's like, but that was just like, that was his battle, or that was his like defense. He's like, Ma, are you kidding? Like, I'm sitting right here. Like he couldn't be smoking in the chair.
House.
Yeah, I don't even know what he was getting at. But then Ryan was just like, it just like starts busting out laughing. But yeah. And my mom used to yell at me for smoking weed, and now my mom smokes more weed than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad, like, he'll do something, and I'll be like, think he's stoned. Or like me and Zane will be like, we think he's stoned. And my mom will be like, I had to tell him to stop smoking weed while the day is out, or while the sun's out. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus. Like,
I wish I could be like an efficient smoker. But
there's different strains, different times. And there's definitely, like, I've come across a few where I'm like, it knocked on my ass. I'm like today, like, I'm not high, like, coming to this, but
yeah.
I'll go home and smoke my lungs out just to get through editing. But
Really.
how do we close? All the closing on all the single ones of these suck. They're just like, government conspiracy. All right, that was a good episode. Like, that was the last one I edited.
I don't know. Yeah, how do you close a podcast? That's weird.
We did it.
We did it. Good job. We'll do another one.